May I remind you that trading is risky and not suitable for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you can't afford to lose. Welcome to QuantBox Daily. Today is Tuesday, May 2nd. And yeah, nice to see you guys. Hope you had a lovely weekend. Yesterday being May Day. Those of you who took the holiday, I hope you had a nice time. Welcome back to the markets. What is QuantBox? QuantBox is your global macroeconomic quant-in-a-box. It's a fundamental tool that gives you a fundamental bias that you can marry with technicals to give you an edge in the market. 1 week trial is just $7.90. Cool. So let's review some trades we discussed last week. You can have a look and see here. So our euro-yen trade that we're looking at for this right-hand shoulder potential, it didn't work out. But you know what's nice? We didn't get the lower low, lower high. See how nice that is? You set up this tactics, you say, well, no lower low, no lower high, and you don't sell it, right? That's why you wait for the tactics. On the other trades, you can see here our pound Aussie didn't work out as nicely. Our pound CAD has come down, but we didn't get a lower low, lower high off of that zone over there. The euro Aussie did work out. You can see there. We did get a breakout pullback to that for a sell, okay? A bit of a scalp. We'll look at that in a moment. Then we're looking at the Euro CAD coming through with a very similar setup. You can see there's your breakout and there's your pullback to the bottom of that range. So 2 trades out of those watch lists, which is not bad. I mean, it's a couple of pips there. You can see they're coming through with 179 pips in the one and 168 pips in the other one. Nice. And you only would have taken those trades because they set up the way we wanted them to. The other trades would have left alone and you wouldn't have lost any money. Pretty cool, right? Okay, rad. So let's go through our pairs from top to bottom, starting with the dollars. So as you know, let's take a look at our biases on the dollar pairs. First of all, starting with our euro dollar, we can have a look and see here, clicking on the currency pair under the USD list, euro dollar coming through the bias of sell, pound dollar coming through the bias of sell, USD CAD coming through the bias of buy, strong buy, Aussie USD with a bias of strong sell, and Kiwi dollar with a bias of strong sell. Fantastic. So nice common ground amongst all those dollar pairs, which makes it a lot easier. So you can see here, Aussie dollar USD, we're not selling this right now, okay? New pivot points coming up. Monthly pivots. Okay, we're currently in a buy zone, not a great place to be selling. We're going to be leaving this alone. Okay, we're waiting for price to get to resistance. If you sold over here or over here, then you're still in that trade. And what you're doing is you're identifying this resistance over here. And as long as price stays below that resistance, you're still fine and happy, okay? What you're paying attention to is any indication of a higher high, higher low, which you don't have right now on any other time frame. Of course, the fact that price has now suddenly stopped making lower lows and lower highs and made this over here, that is concerning. But what I would do is I would simply look at the chart and say that if price breaks this resistance, you've got bottom of the range stuff over here, there is support left-hand side, not great, but you've jammed your stop. And it's basically go big or go home, right? But if price breaks its resistance, comes back down to make a higher low, that's a danger sign for that sell. Otherwise, you're not selling down here, right? Do not sell at this resistance. Leave this alone. You're currently completely out of position for a sell, even if it goes down. In terms of our euro dollar, okay, cool. So euro dollar, very different story. We're currently in position for a sell. We just need to get some kind of indication of bearishness. Okay, you can see there currently price sitting at this support over here. That's not bearish. We're looking for a lower low, lower high on this. You can see that price failed to break above this. Okay, so top of the range. So if you sold over there or over there, fantastic. If you're waiting for a breakout, I didn't give this as an indication of sell because I'm looking for a lower low, lower high. You can see here on the H4 time frame, currently sideways. Okay, you can just trap this. And then you're looking for a low, low, lower high. What's interesting is that you got price in position for a sell with monthly pivots. You got price in position for a buy with weekly pivots. Your moving average is converging for a cross down, but your daily, we still got 21 above 55, 200, 100 above 200, and structurally you're currently sideways. So things aren't really saying the same thing, right? Your market, your EMAs are saying trend and momentum, but your price is saying sideways, right? So you want to leave this alone. The same exact thing with those watch list trades. Wait for that lower low, wait for that lower high. It's the way to play the game. Pound dollar. You can see there another good example of how waiting for that lower low, lower high stay keeps you out of trouble, doesn't get you into a losing trade. Okay. You can see there, currently sitting in position for a sell between the central and the M3. However, you don't have the lower low, lower high. Okay. You need to see the lower low, lower high. And if you get that, then you're looking for that sell. You can see here there's no opportunity for price to close at resistance. This price comes up, makes a lower high, price comes down, makes a lower low, then price comes up, make a lower high at roll reversal. Right now, currently sideways, leave that alone. Okay, we'll keep an eye on these as the days come. Maybe we get some opportunities later in the month. Okay, so this is Kiwi dollar currently in position for a buy, not a great spot to be selling. And H4 currently in position for a sell. They're not saying the same thing, these pivot points. Ultimately, I'm looking at monthlies first, and this is not where I want to sell. Top of the range is much better. So let's leave Kiwi dollar alone as well. USD CAD coming to the strong buy. Look at that pivot point there. Unfortunately, not in position to do any buying over here. You can see how all the dollar pairs are saying the same thing, right? All the other dollar pairs sitting in buy zones, this dollar pair sitting in a sell zone. Not great. So you can leave that alone. Just unfortunately out of position to do anything with this month. Of course, in the weekly position to buy at the M2. I don't like that buy though because of my position on the daily. And that's why I look at my daily chart first. Also pay attention to the fact that you got this over here. I mean, that could be construed as support. However, again, I don't like this position. Okay. If you bought down here, fantastic. Buying over here, not a great place to buy. In terms of price closing at support down here, fair enough. H4 says great, but again, looking at that, I just look at the monthly pivot points. I would much rather get into a monthly swing when price is in position for doing that. Okay, cool. That's just how I trade. USD ZAR. We didn't take a look at USD ZAR on the list over here. Let's take a look at USD ZAR coming down to USD ZAR over here. We got USD ZAR with the bias of dun, dun, dun. Well, you can see it's a 6 strong buy. So USD ZAR also not in position for a buy. Let's leave that alone. Cool. Moving on to our yen pairs. All right, so yen pairs, as you know, we've been looking for seasonality on the yen pairs. We haven't had it yet. Maybe this is the month where it starts taking place. Still going to focus on that because summer holidays are a thing that takes place. Neutral on Aussie yen. We got CAD yen coming through the buy. Now, what you could do is you could decide, even though neutral and overall bias, you could be still playing a game of seasonal play. Okay, in May, you can see there. It's kind of flat, but depends on what you're looking at. All-time average, you can see there, quite bearish. And then last 5 years sort of flattening out, but a bit of a bearish angle there. So you could be playing the bearishness on that from a seasonality perspective. Same with CAD yen, Euro yen as well. You can see that all your yen pairs get a bit of a flat chart in Euro yen. Pound yen coming through, also a bit of a flat chart in pound yen. And then Kiwi yen, you can see there, May sort of bullish actually the last 5 years, but overall all-time average down. So looking at that, why not just maintain a bias of bearish? And if you get an opportunity, you get an opportunity. You can see here your Aussie yen. Okay, if we maintain a bias of bearish, we can see here price consolidating in a really strange way. Support over here, price breaking up, price breaking down, price opening up in a sort of R1 S1 situation. Okay, and this is ranging, so that's not a bad place to be. What we're looking for, though, is an indication of bearishness. You can see coming up to a profit-taking zone. Nothing indicates bearishness yet. Looking at H1 time frame, you can see they're currently in a sell zone for the day. You're looking for a lower low, lower high. But in terms of the other time frames, I'd like to see the H. Let's just quickly add something over here. Just get my, there we go. So looking for a lower low, lower high. Not really at a profit-taking zone right now, just below an R1 at the moment. Interesting. So lower low, lower high. Again, you could play this exactly how we played the watch list from pairs. If you get a lower low, pull back, lower high, verify that lower time frames, and you could totally be in. Let's put this on our watch list, shall we? Put Aussie yen on our watch list. Just because we got that R1 weekly profit-taking zone. I mean, if we don't get the lower low, lower high, then of course we'll do nothing with it. There's nothing wrong with having a watch list. And it's nicer just to be able to come back and refer to this whenever you look through all your pairs all over again. So let's just put this in a box. And let's look for that to break out, pull back, sell. If it doesn't do that, then don't sell it. It's as simple as that, right? no guarantees. We're looking for tactical setups on this. CAD yen. Let's take a look at CAD yen. Also, look at that R1, S1 possibility. Also up here, weekly R1, fantastic. And then you can see here also, you can just look for that lower low, lower high daily M3 situation. Fantastic. So we'll put CAD yen in our watch list as well. Again, if you don't get the lower low, lower high, you're not doing anything with this. Cool. So CAD yen, weekly pivot, and we're looking at this over here. Lower low, lower high. Fantastic. Then in terms of euro yen, let's take a look at euro yen. Euro yen daily all the way above the M3. Okay, interesting. Not nearly at the R1. And over here, you can see the support. Doesn't look like the rest of them. I'm going to leave this one alone. Pound yen, also daily above there. We'll keep an eye on this over the coming days. But nothing really, not like the other ones. And then okay, so Kiwi yen's interesting because it's top of the range. Okay, it's top of the range. So we could pop this into a little, look for a lower low, lower high there. Let's take a look at the H1 time frame. Yeah, okay, cool. You can see we got support over there. So you're definitely looking for price to make a lower low, lower high. This is definitely, we expect this to continue going up. I wouldn't buy it here. You could put price inside there. Let's put this in the watch list, as it's not as interesting as the other ones, but it's at least something we can pay attention to. We can come back here whenever we need to look at our pairs, and it just makes it easy to jump over to these pairs. Okay, so let's just put that in. Let's make sure we identify support over there. And there it is over there. Okay, cool. So we've got 3 yen pairs in our watch list. We're not sure if anything will happen with those. We don't really care if it doesn't, because if it doesn't, we don't take a trade. Okay, our Swissies, you can see here going to Swissies on our crosses. Euro Swissy coming through the bias of neutral. We've also got some seasonality we can play on going into May on the Swissies. So Euro Swissy, Pound Swissy, also seasonal play possibility over here. Aussie Swissy, all the way up there. Okay. Kiwi Swissy, very pretty flat. CAD Swissy, pretty flat. I'm just going to do a risk play on these guys, same as the yen pairs. You see right now, you can't really sell. We're still waiting for price to come up to this resistance. Notice how prices come down and they've stopped making lower lows. This indication over here, this little high low here, tells us like we're not expecting price to close at resistance. But I'm not going to buy this because I'm going to have a bias of bearish in these Swissies. CAD Swissy, you can see there, this one, we haven't got that higher low. We've still got resistance up here. Okay. You can see that the problem with the H4 time frame is it says something different. Okay, I'm not liking the higher highs, higher lows. That's not a bearish structure. So I'm not putting that on any watch list anytime soon. Keep an eye on it though. Euro Swissy is currently bottom of the range, leaving that alone. Then Pound Swissy, we got also bottom of the range, leaving that alone. And Kiwi Swissy, bottom of the range. You can see an H4 there. That structure is not great. Okay, you have got price to weekly M3. What you could do, the problem is I don't like the position on that. No, I'm leaving that alone. I don't like the monthly position on that. Euro pound, okay, you can see there that's still very much sideways. I don't care what the bias is in that. That's neutral technically. Pound Aussie, let's take a look at pound Aussie over here. So pound Aussie coming through the bias of neutral and pretty flat in the seasonal stuff. Pound Kiwi coming to the bias of neutral. Pound CAD, bias of buy. Okay, let's take a look at pound CAD. Pound CAD, yeah, not completely out of position, leaving that alone. Then we got pound CAD, done. Let's take a look and see what's next. We can go to our euros. So Euro Aussie, neutral, Euro Kiwi, neutral, Euro CAD, neutral. Okay. How about Aussie Kiwi? Still. Okay, right at the bottom of our list over here, Aussie Kiwi. So, not a massive fan of this price over here coming off this support. I don't see price at resistance right now. I'm going to leave that alone. Let's take a look at our Aussie CAD. Sell. Yeah, don't like that position. And then what else we got? I think I kind of covered everything. What have we not looked at? We haven't looked at euros. Oh, something on the list though. Currently in a sell zone, sideways. Bullish. The thing is, I don't have a bias for it. If I'm going to bias for it, I'm not going to do anything with it. It's just there because I have it on my chart. I'm leaving that alone. Okay, so here's the summary. We've got a watch list containing 3 yen pairs, and let's keep an eye on them. I don't know if anything's going to happen. I don't think anything will happen. They don't look like they're setting up for anything great. But we have got profit taking zones just ahead of us. Got R1s just ahead of us. We've got this one's not so much Kiwi yen. And we've got those, but from a monthly perspective, there's some nice position there in the R1s. So I'll keep an eye on them. Might not be something that happens today. You could see how long it took those other watch list pairs to finally give us opportunities. So you've got to be patient with these things. But at least we've got some pairs on the watch list. Let's watch them over the coming days. If we can add anything else to it, we'll do so. But just like with the other pairs, if you stay patient and stay disciplined, you'll stay liquid and you might get an opportunity to take a trade. Remember, set things up tactically. Lower low, lower high, higher high, higher low. Verify your trades right down the line. Hope you have a great day further. I don't think I'll need to follow up at London or New York. We'll have a look and see if anything transpires. If I don't, then I will see you the same time tomorrow. Have a great day, my friends.